Thurman is his name. Now, you got to know boxing to know Keith Thurman. Because Keith Thurman ain't known by everybody. But he's known in the boxing fraternities. And we saw him fight. Didn't look that impressive. People were not that enamored with him. If you've seen Claressa Shields fight, you know what I'm talking about. The sister can box. She will kick your ass. Make no mistake about it. She is no joke. To my producers, we don't need to see Keith Thurman right now. You need to put up Claressa Shields. That's who the public needs to see. Her. She is no joke. She can fight. That is her in a boxing ring right now, fighting a man. That's who she's fighting.
Following Keith Thurman's unexpected defeat at the hands of Sebastian Fundora, Stephen A. Smith made headlines with a striking statement. He openly suggested that Claressa Shields would have been capable of defeating Thurman in that situation.
I want to rain on Claressa Shields' parade because I want her to get whatever she wants. I got a lot of respect for her. Thurman, what I would say to you is that, my brother, it's a no-win situation.
Echoing the view expressed by Stephen A. Smith, a number of fighters and analysts also shared similar concerns about Keith Thurman's showing against Sebastian Fundora. They described his performance as lacking sharpness, noting that he appeared a step behind, struggled to keep up, and failed to make effective adjustments during the fight. Overall, many observers felt he was capable of delivering a stronger outing than what was seen.
You know, the plot is thickened, man. This Keith Thurman Fundora, man. He is not one. Hey, nope, he ain't one time. I'm sorry. He is not. Nah. Hell no. Nah.
You've been off for a minute. You know what I mean? You fought not too long. What was that, a year ago? When he fought the Bull? It was like a year ago, but it was an easy joint for him. He went in there and just beat Bull up real quick. But you ain't been up against nothing like that in a while. Then you being, 36, 37 years old. You know what I'm saying? It looked like it was almost impossible for you to get back from that. You know what I mean? The momentum was only picking up, and it was only getting worse for you. You know what I'm saying? The ref probably didn't have to stop it at that point, but I don't see where it was going to get better for Keith Thurman. I didn't see where he could climb himself back out of that hole. You know what I'm saying? He a dog, though. And I would never take that away from him. I would never, try to disrespect him for who he is and what he's done. But, sometimes just don't go your way. And in a fight like that, it's going to be tough.
Keith Thurman was decisively defeated by Sebastian Fundora, with the bout ending in a 6th-round TKO. Fundora took control by fully utilizing his height and reach advantage, applying constant pressure that Thurman struggled to handle. The result marked the first time Thurman had been stopped in his career, while also highlighting noticeable signs of decline for the former champion.
For his preparation, his fight style, it all ended up planning out for him. But as an OG, man, 4 more minutes, it would have been a lot of fun, I promise you. 4 more minutes, and he could have made a mistake right in front of me, man. I was waiting for it. I knew it was going to be one of these kind of tough fights against a young champion, and I had that long-term vision, but the ref didn't let me get there, man. So it was unfortunate, but I'm grateful. I'm okay. I'm able to talk to you guys. I don't need to be in the hospital. Everything is what it is. I want to give a shout-out to my sponsor, ICI, and just, I'll be back, man. I want to do great things in boxing once again, and I'm going to come back hard. I'm going to come back strong.
After the fight, Keith Thurman voiced his frustration during the press conference, directing criticism toward the referee's decision. He maintained that the stoppage came prematurely, explaining that he was still protecting himself and felt the contest was becoming more competitive. Thurman also stated that he should have been given additional time to recover and potentially regain control of the fight.
Off, man, it was just a great fight. Thank God, man. It's beautiful boxing, big stage. It felt good to be on that stage once again. Fundora's a tremendous champion, but whoever that referee was, don't hire him for main event ever again, man. Real talk. Do you remember Eric Morales versus Marcos Maidana? Do you remember how many times people fought with broken orbital bones? Shit's not even broken, man. Never got dropped in the whole fight. I'm getting caught on the back end of punches. The referee told me in the locker room, Show me something. Move your feet, duck your head. I won't stop the fight. I'm using my legs. I'm getting caught on the back end. I wasn't buckled. He just jumped in like a white rabbit, man. So them little hoppy referees, they're not made for main event boxing. The fight was getting fun. The people were standing on their feet. We were just getting into the grind, you know? And he was getting really comfortable swinging wide, swinging big, swinging wide. Because he's young, because he trains hard, he put that press. Because he's a volume puncher, he put that press, and the referee reacted to that.
Greg Hackett expressed the view that Keith Thurman should have been given more opportunity to continue. He noted that Thurman had not been dropped at any stage and suggested he could have been allowed to reach that point before a stoppage was considered. At the same time, Hackett acknowledged that Sebastian Fundora was steadily wearing him down, and the visible punishment he was taking made the situation look more severe than it may have actually been.
I wasn't surprised that the ref jumped in there, but I was surprised. I'm like, a guy like Keith Thurman, you do gotta let him go out on it. I ain't saying you gotta let him die. But I'm saying, like he said, he was never knocked down, though. He never hit the canvas. At least let him hit the canvas before, you know what I mean? Let him make that decision, you know what I mean, before you stop a fight like that. But it did look like it was getting bad. Then, when you look at his face, I mean, the way the marks.
Do you think that's what it was, though?
Yeah,
even though the cuts wasn't necessarily affecting his vision,
that made it more dramatic. Made it look more dramatic. Him being lighter, and you get the marks all over his face, cut under the eye. So it's like, damn, you know what I mean? And you gotta be real. Fundora has a reputation from the Lubin fight. You keep fighting. I mean, he basically rearranged his face. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to him, but when you do stuff like that to guys, and we've seen it before, the referee might be like, look, where was it going to go? If I didn't stop him, you was going to get stopped the next round. Or not the next round after that. Like, it wasn't going to this.
Antonio Tarver shared that it was difficult for him to watch Keith Thurman take a TKO defeat against Sebastian Fundora, noting that he sympathized with the experienced fighter. At the same time, Tarver acknowledged the outcome wasn't entirely unexpected, pointing out that Fundora's height, constant pressure, and overall control in the ring make him a dangerous opponent for anyone in the division.
How you doing, man? Well, talk about what happened with Keith tonight.
Man, I'm heartbroken for my man, but we knew it was gonna be an uphill battle. Fundora beast, bro. Beast.
I mean, what's next for Fundora? We obviously saw Jermell right now kind of fired up. He's obviously, last undisputed champion in the division. What happens if they end up locking horns?
I would love to see that fight.
It's a good one, right?
Yes, sir. I'd love to see that. Yes, sir.
Do you lean one way or the other?
Not right now, but Fundora gonna be a tough out for anybody, bro. He's learning how to use his reach and height a lot better, so he's gonna be a tough puzzle to solve.
Rolando Romero responded with a strong reaction following Sebastian Fundora's stoppage win over Keith Thurman. He argued that Fundora's physical dimensions give him an edge that doesn't align well with a 154-pound division. Romero pointed out that the significant differences in height and reach created an uneven matchup, leaving Thurman at a noticeable disadvantage inside the ring.
That dude need to be 86 for the division. He way too tall. I'm sorry, they need to calibrate them scales. I don't know how he making them weight classes. It is not fair.
Too cold.
It is not fair.
So he means Virgil Ortiz.
It is. Forget about. It is not fair for him to be in that weight class.
Would you pick him against all the 154s? Though, is that what you're saying? Like,
it is not fair for him to be in that weight class. They need to calibrate them scales. We don't know how he makes that weight. All stuff. There is some kind of trickery going on in boxing that nobody wants to talk about.
What do you think about the sustained beatings that he passes out? When he fights, it's the way he gets on top of people and just destroys them.
Man, he over there trying to chop every head off. I'm telling you like this, man. I sit there, man. I just look. I'm like, there's no way. Like you gotta go over there and just like boom, right on the top like that, right? Hope for the best, But like I said, man, that's a difficult dude to beat. The thing is, how you gonna reach him? How you gonna reach him?
You gotta stay close, and he's good on the inside, but you gotta stay.
He's good on the inside. He's better on the inside.
Bernie Thoxer shared his reaction to the bout. stating that Keith Thurman didn't resemble the fighter fans had previously seen at his peak. He observed that Thurman appeared slower, less precise, and struggled to match the tempo and pressure set by Sebastian Fundora. He further explained that the quickness, timing, and explosive style that once defined Thurman were not evident, which ultimately allowed Fundora to take control of the fight.
On Keith Thurman getting stopped in the 6th round by Sebastian Fundora.
I could see that. I could see that, man. I mean, how was he gonna reach him? And Keith Thurman ain't knocking nobody out. He ain't one punch no more. He ain't one time no more. That was a tough out. He's a tough out for anybody. He's a tough out. How you gonna beat Fundora? I mean, like I say, he makes some. He got some mistakes. Sometimes he throws his punches too slow, and he got all that. Since his wingspan so long, he got so much open space. If you make a miss, you know, to counter him. But other than that, he tough, man. When he switched his jab up and started using a faster jab, he started to do a lot better. He's, you know, was lowering his risk of getting countered. And shit, he started putting them combinations together. You know, he throw a lot of punches. It was all she wrote for Keith Thurman, man.
Bernie Thoxer also noted that a combination of limited recent activity and advancing age may have contributed to Keith Thurman's difficulty in making adjustments and responding effectively during the fight. While still acknowledging Thurman's accomplishments over the years, he indicated that this performance pointed to a noticeable drop from the high level he once maintained, suggesting he is no longer operating at his former elite standard.
Movement was good, in which, you know, he was able to spring in there and land some shots, but he was still getting caught on the end. And, you know, it was just a spell disaster for him. I don't think he was getting his ass beat, but he was just like, he couldn't win. He just like, he was getting hit, you know, just couldn't get out the way of some of them punches, man. So it just spelled disaster for him, man. But he showed a lot of heart. Showed a lot of heart, and I think the fight could have went on a little bit more. But he was looking worse for wear early. That was like, 5 rounds, man. He was already looking like, man, busted up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's over with now. We on to the next. You know, Keith Thurman, old news.
Winky Wright shared his perspective following Sebastian Fundora's commanding TKO victory over Keith Thurman, emphasizing that despite the dominant result, Fundora is not unbeatable. He explained that Thurman's movement and experience allowed him to stay competitive in the early stages, but acknowledged that Fundora's reach, consistent pressure, and effective jab gradually broke him down. Wright highlighted Thurman's effort and determination, while also suggesting that Fundora still has areas in his style that a well-prepared opponent could take advantage of. Overall, his assessment reflected respect for both fighters, while making it clear that Fundora's strong performance does not place him beyond challenge.
Man, I know it's probably tough to see that because Keith's your boy.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your reaction to the fight?
Hey, it's part of the game. You know, Fundora's a tough person to fight, tall, rangy, you know, tough, and he threw a lot of punches. And Keith had a little long layoff, and no excuse, man. He just a tough fighter. He's just tough to beat, and then Keith had to do what he had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think was there any adjustments you feel that were lacking in there?
Yeah, it was. I think he was doing too much movement. That's what got him kind of tired with his legs, and then he couldn't do the things that he wanted to do. But you know, Fundora was just trying to put the pressure on him. And like I said, it's been a while for Keith fighting, and then fighting somebody at that size. This is difficult. People can say what they want. You can do this, you can do that, but you ain't never fight nobody 6'6", 80-inch reach, you know, and love to fight. So it is what it is.
Do you think this might be Keith's last fight, or do you think he still has enough?
No, I think he just need to get back and be active. It's hard when you only fight once or a year and stuff. You got to be active. So you know what I'm saying? When he stopped being active, he be back.
How do you beat someone like Fundora with that size and reach and height?
It's gonna be tough. He's gonna take a unique fighter to do that. But you know, Fundora, he keep working hard, keep doing what he's doing. It's gonna be hard for a lot of people until he start fighting people his height. Somebody can come up and be that tall, but he'll go up and fight. I'll take my head off to him. And I like things happen. We're in the sport. You know, you win some, you lose some, but champions come back and try to.
Teddy Atlas commented on the fight, noting that while the stoppage was not entirely unexpected due to the one-sided nature of the contest, he wasn't fully satisfied with the timing of the referee's call. He emphasized that Keith Thurman at the same time. Atlas acknowledged that Sebastian Fundora was landing powerful, consistent shots that clearly justified the intervention. He expressed understanding for the referee's responsibility to protect Thurman, while recognizing the challenging position officials face when a fighter is absorbing repeated punishment.
The idea was to use his athleticism, move side to side, keep Fundora moving his feet, switching his stances, and then get in, jump in, move in, close in real quick and attack when Fundora wasn't ready to punch. It looked like that was the only strategy that made sense. It looked like his people at least had him prepared for a strategy. It's not like we see too many of these guys that they come in as underdogs and they have no strategy. You're like, what the?
Atlas pointed out that Keith Thurman had prepared a strong strategy, attempting to use movement and angles to his advantage. However, he struggled to put the plan into action against Sebastian Fundora's imposing size and relentless pressure, which made the referee's decision to stop the fight ultimately reasonable.
They think they were going to get out of here with a win. They didn't have any freaking clue to what they needed to do. He did have a clue. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. So at the end of the day, yeah, I didn't love the stoppage, but I saw the woman doctor come in there and I knew what that meant. The writing was on the wall. She was going to go in there at the end of the round. She was going to go in there. She was going to stop it. And I think that the ref knew that too. And he said, you know what, I'll stop it. I'll stop it before the doctor does, because maybe it looks like I should do that. But she was going to stop it anyway. Maybe the corner would have stopped it too. Who knows? But I'll tell you this. A lot of times you see this false bravado. You'll see a fighter where he's completely being dominated.
Richard Torres Jr. responded to Sebastian Fundora's dominant victory over Keith Thurman by emphasizing the unique challenge Fundora presents in the 154-pound division. Torres highlighted Fundora's exceptional height and reach, combined with relentless forward pressure, as key factors that make him difficult for opponents to handle. He also commended Fundora's toughness, noting that the champion not only lands punches effectively, but can absorb shots while maintaining aggression throughout the fight. According to Torres, this combination of size and skill shifts the dynamics of the division, positioning Fundora as a highly dangerous and unpredictable fighter in modern boxing. He added that the performance against Thurman demonstrates Fundora is redefining success at light middleweight and setting a higher standard for future contenders.
Amazing fight tonight. You didn't get a chance to get in there, but Keith Thurman, Sebastian Fundora, we saw Sebastian Fundora put on one of those Fundora-esque, Inferno-esque performances again tonight, man. Tell us what you saw.
What are you supposed to do against that guy, man? He's a guy that wants to come at you, wants to stay active, but has this reach that's insane. That can hit you from across the ring, and every guy is going to be significantly shorter than him. That's a fight, man. Like, anytime he gets in the ring, the other person's going to have a difficult job because he's never fought someone like him. He's a different guy. I used to not like watching film on some of my guys, they never fight me how they fight other people. I think that's how Fundora must feel all the time. He's never gonna get a fighter that can fight his natural style or the style that he wants to fight against him. He's 6'6" and 150 pounds. It's insane.
I mean, and it's crazy, man, even when you land punches on him, this is a dude who truly seems like he takes it personal. Not like he gets mad, but if you hit him hard, he is as nasty as they come.
And he took a shot like a champ too. He took 3 or 4 of Keith Thurman shots, and he ate them, man, and he kept coming back. That was incredible. It was a really great showing from him, and I'm just excited to see what's next from him. I'm a fan, And it's weird because you see it on TV, but you don't get the awe until you're in person of that size discrepancy with. I don't know when I've seen it like that again, 6'6" versus what was he, 5'8", 5'6"? It was almost a foot of just height, and then the length and everything. That guy's dangerous, man.
right? I mean, and for Keith Thurman, we haven't seen Keith Thurman get bludgeoned like that. We haven't seen him get beaten like that. I mean, he seemed to have been angry in the corner after the stoppage, but even then, man, I mean, still, this was an absolute, we've never seen Keith get...
Roy Jones Jr. lauded Sebastian Fundora's display in the ring, calling him a towering force and one of the most compelling fighters active in boxing today. He pointed out that Fundora's blend of height, reach, and constant aggression left Keith Thurman struggling to establish his rhythm or maintain a consistent defense. Jones emphasized that Fundora's distinctive style demonstrates why he is such a dominant presence at 154 pounds. Even as Thurman attempted to stay competitive, Fundora's control, composure, and relentless work rate allowed him to dictate the fight from beginning to end. While recognizing Thurman's heart and experience, Jones stressed that Fundora's exceptional performance is redefining what's possible in the division and encouraged other top fighters to study his tactics, as few challengers have been able to handle his rare combination of size and skill.
Inferno is still the towering Inferno. He's a problem. He's 6'6", 154. He's a problem for anybody.
Mike, what you think?
Like I said, you know, it's hard for anybody to come back after 3 years and try to come back and fight the top guy in the division. Fundora went out and done what he's supposed to do. I mean, you know, Thurman done what he could do, but this wasn't enough. He was just too elusive and too busy for him. He wanted to fight. The referee done the right thing. He stopped the fight. There's no need taking on that. He's a good fighter.
Excessive punishment for no reason.
For no reason whatsoever.
What do you think happens next for Keith? Is it time to hang him up or to maybe look for a different division? Where do you think he goes from here?
Well, for me, it's hard to come back at a fighter like that. You come back fight, you run to the top guy in the division. It's hard to do that. So he's going to do other things, but it's hard to do that.
Caleb Plant applauded Sebastian Fundora, declaring him to be at the peak of his abilities after his commanding victory over Keith Thurman. Plant emphasized that Fundora's natural advantages, particularly his height and reach, are complemented by smart coaching and a well-executed game plan, enabling him to control the bout from beginning to end. He noted that Fundora's capacity to apply consistent pressure while maintaining disciplined fundamentals reflects meticulous preparation and execution. Plant explained that this combination of physical gifts and strategic planning makes Fundora extremely challenging to face, which accounted for his effectiveness against a veteran like Thurman. Additionally, Plant praised Fundora's team and the clarity of their approach, highlighting that such a complete performance at 154 pounds is rare and signals a new standard within the division.
Speak of Fundora stopping Keith.
Yeah, Fundora did great tonight. He had a great game plan. He implemented it. He got great coaching. He's got, a great chin, great gas tank. He's just a great fighter, man.
Was there anything that surprised you about the fight, or you felt like Keith could have done a little bit better?
Man, I think, okay. Yeah, I think, it's just, it's a hard puzzle to solve.
Right?
Yeah.
In terms of 154, do you, based on how he fought, do you see Fundora being the best at 154?
Yeah, right now I think he's got the most momentum. He's got a lot of confidence, and right now I think he's on top of his game.
Is there anyone you see being able to handle that size, that length, just the pressure?
I mean, I would never. I'm not going to say there's nobody out there that can't get it done, but right now, as far as the eye test goes,
By leveraging his size and keeping constant pressure, Sebastian Fundora demonstrated why he is considered one of the most challenging opponents in the 154-pound division, posing serious difficulties for nearly any contender. The fight stoppage ignited discussion among fans and fighters, with opinions divided over whether the referee acted prematurely or made the correct decision. Keith Thurman also expressed his disagreement, stating that he still had energy left in the fight and intends to mount a comeback. With the boxing community buzzing and top names being mentioned as possible future matchups, this outcome has significantly altered the landscape of the light middleweight division.
Keith Thurman Fundora, man, I just keep watching Keith fight, watching Fundora, watching Keith. I'm looking at their resumes, and I'm just like, man, If Keith pull this off, man, this fight right here might put his in the Hall of Fame. If he win this fight, man, this might put him in the Hall of Fame, man. You know, he got some good names on his resume, like, you know, Guerrero, Sean Porter, and, you know, a few others. He got some good names on his resume. But this right here, how long he really been out of the ring, like, in the last 3 years, he's only been 3 rounds, people. He's only been he's only been 3 rounds. In the last 3 years, he's only been 3 rounds. So you put that on top of it. He's 36, 37 years old. Injuries and everything that he done went through, with, you know, his body breaking down on him. All these postponed fights and due to injury or, you know, his opponent getting injured and stuff, man, like, Keith's career, man, the end of his career has been a travesty. I seen that damn weigh in, man.
What's your take on the fight? Do you believe the referee's stoppage was justified? And which opponent should Sebastian Fundora face in his next match?